event this evening, and we won't keep you too long. We know you'll all have got busy lives and probably want to go and grab your tea or at least relax if you've been working as well today. So, a bit of a schedule there. So we will do a quick welcome and intros in a moment. Then we'll do a little bit of an introduction to CAPSLOCK, so who we are, what we're about, kind of things you'd learn on the CAPSLOCK course, what kind of support you can expect to get on the course as well. Just a bit of an overview of some of the outcomes and careers outcomes that we see our learners and alumni going on to achieve, and a little bit about the admissions process as well, and the kind of the what next if CAPSLOCK is something that you're wanting to explore and go forward with. And then at the end, again, short presentation, but at the end we'll have some time for questions as well from people. If you want to throughout, by all means put questions in the chat and I can come to them at the end. If you don't want to come off mute and speak up, the chat is absolutely fine as well. And this isn't the only opportunity for you to ask questions as well. We will have time. Not time. There will be an email address as well that you can email any questions to after the event as well. Okay. So I suppose introductions then. So again, welcome everybody. Really good to see you all here. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about CAPSLOCK tonight. My name's Lorna Armitage. I'm one of the co-founders of CAPSLOCK. So co-founded the company back in 2019 actually, but we didn't launch our first cohort until 2021, February 2021. And since then, I have actually genuinely lost count of how many cohorts have come through. I really should probably count them so that I can be a bit more precise on that. But we've had, over 700 learners come through the program now and go on to get careers in cyber, which is fantastic for us to see. My background is in both education and cybersecurity, so that's where I come from, and wanted to start CAPSLOCK really so that we could start to help remove barriers to people getting into the cybersecurity sector. So that's me in a nutshell. You will, if you come on the course, you will see me in the classroom from time to time as well as a lead tutor, or actually a lead tutor, assistant tutor, I cover all of those in the classroom from time to time. I'm not in the classroom as much as I'd like to be anymore, but you will see me about and in the classroom if you do come and join us on the course. That's me. I'll hand over to Sophie.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophie Brocky. I'm the admissions manager at CAPSLOCK. So I'm on hand to help you get enrolled, if you have any questions around the application process and getting a place on the CAPSLOCK course, that's what I'm here for. So I'll be about if you've got any questions in terms of the admissions process, but equally you can drop me an email at any time. I think many of you have already, but you can continue to reach out to me for support along the way. So I hope you enjoy the presentation today.
Top stuff. Cheers, Soph. Right then, so I guess a little bit about CAPSLOCK. You heard me say then we incorporated back in 2019, but basically we reskill adults into cybersecurity professionals. We deliver award-winning cyber retraining programs. We've got a slide with some of the awards on in a moment as well. But I think the really important thing is we really focused on removing barriers, and that can be socioeconomic, financial, lifestyle, education, whatever those barriers are. We're not going to stand here and profess to say, we can remove every barrier to every person, because that's just not feasible. But the whole ethos of the organization is to look at how we can help people reskill into cyber and give people opportunities that they might not otherwise have had, and what barriers we can remove to do that. We've been going, like I said, 2019 we incorporated, first cohort in 2021. February, that was a part-time cohort, quickly followed by a full-time one in March that same year. Some of those alumni, I was really fortunate actually to bump into quite a few down in London a few months ago at InfoSec. And it's fantastic to see they've been in their roles over 2 years now, and they are just flourishing. They've been promoted many times. They've got their own teams, and it is great to see. And we've had so many people come through since then. We run on average around 2 full-time and 1 part-time cohort at the same time. That can fluctuate either way, but that's what we usually have. And our cohorts have a maximum of 60 people on. And if that seems like a lot to you, actually, when you're on the cohort, you'll be working predominantly in small teams of 5 or 6. So it doesn't feel like a big group of people all the time. You come back in to work with, in the main classroom bit. So you might have a few there, but the vast majority of the time you're in the classroom with us, you will be working in smaller teams. So it does feel quite intimate and things like that. Some of our awards and recognition here. I think we might have some more to add to that actually, but yeah, so we started back in 2021. We got a couple of nice government awards there, most innovative SME, small medium enterprise business, cyber innovator. The Learning Technology Awards in 2022 was a really proud moment for us because that in the world of education and learning and training, that's quite a prestigious one, and we got gold for best online distance learning program. We've had excellence in impact. Again, that's quite a prestigious one from Investors Venture Capitalist Association. Tech Startup of the Year, Best Startup Company for Diversity. So we're really proud of the awards and recognition. But I think for us, what makes us most proud is seeing those learners go out and get those jobs, and seeing them sort of progress and start those careers in cyber, and for a lot of them to changing their lives for the positive. That is what makes us most proud. So yeah, so we're all about breaking down barriers to education, and by removing barriers and measuring that drive and determination from people, we can actually also achieve incredible diversity. And this is diversity in many ways, whether it's looking at kind of ethnicity, whether it's looking at age, whether it's looking at gender, whether it's looking at socioeconomic status. It's looking at ensuring that our classrooms are diverse, but then actually going into cyber, we're enabling cyber as an industry to be more diverse as well, because what is really, really powerful in the classrooms is that diversity of thought from the learners, and that comes from their backgrounds as well, their previous experience in whether it be in work or just in life. And so we see over 35% women on our courses, which is a stat we're really proud of. We want to increase both of these stats, but we are really, really proud of them because they are way above industry average, and what you'll see anywhere else, and over 35% ethnic minorities. And you can see some of our learners and alumni here and where they've come from. So we've got Adam there, was an engineer. Mikey was a dancer on cruise ships. You got Matty, who was a veteran. Matty actually works at CAPSLOCK now. He's a lead tutor. He went off, he did the course, he went off, got a role for a couple of years as a consultant, and came back to us as a tutor and now a lead tutor. Got Satya, who was a Java developer and came through. So we got real diversity in the backgrounds of our learners as well, and where they've come from, which is really fantastic to see. And the CAPSLOCK effect, CAPSLOCK does genuinely change lives. And I know that can sound cheesy. And what, it's coming from me. You're probably thinking you would say that, but actually, to be honest, I think one of the biggest, probably not surprises, maybe it was a surprise to me when founded the company, was the emotional roller coaster that you go on, especially with the learners when they come in and you see them progress through the 16-week program or the 28-week program, whichever it may be, full-time or part-time, and you see their confidence grow, and then you hear the stories at the end of how it really has changed their lives, and they've got a role that they really wanted, whether it be new career, whether it be more money to be able to, get the things in life they want. It is really humbling and really fantastic to see. And it's about helping people unlock their potential, and helping them get into a role. So we got a couple of people here. Dale, he was an army dog handler, and he went into cyber awareness training. We got Shan, who was a store manager, and then she went into an insider threat analyst role at Dyson, actually. And loved that. Joe, I saw Joe actually the other week. He was a store assistant and he is absolutely smashing it now. He went as a vulnerability analyst. He's been promoted 2-3 times now. He's got his own team where he is. And Nicole, a mum and Julia, and then she went into an IT security associate. She's actually a BSO at PwC now. So again, smashing it and being promoted a number of times. So it is fantastic, and it's great for us to keep in contact with the alumni as well and continue to watch their journeys as they progress through their careers. And quite a few of these have come back to hire from CAPSLOCK, which is also great, as they progress and they're building their own teams. In terms of the roles that learners secure, and we're often asked this, and actually it is quite a range of roles that learners go into. A big portion of our learners go into SOC roles, and I think that probably the reason for that is SOC is a really good starting place for a career in cyber, because it's, there's a lot of people go into entry level roles in SOC and then move on and do other things, and it's a good building block for a career in cyber. So a lot going into that, but we see a lot going into what we call the GRC side, governance, risk, and compliance as well, whether that be assurance, compliance, governance, risk, all sorts of different ones, policy, building. So we see quite a big chunk of people going into that side. So the more non-technical roles of cyber as well, versus the more technical roles. So we see a real spread across that. A lot going into consultancy, where you could be doing lots of different projects and lots of different clients working with. Project management, we see people going into sales. So many to talk of. There's so many different roles in cyber, and I think people often see cyber just as a technical thing, where you've got to do a technical pen testing, right? That's the one that everybody thinks of when you say cyber. Actually, there's so many different elements to cybersecurity as a career and different aspects of it. And we see learners going into lots of those, and a real spread, which is great to see. So when you actually come onto the course, in terms of the curriculum, the curriculum is quite unique and quite innovative in how it's developed. It's not traditional learning that a lot of you might be used to, or have been used to when you were at school, or if you went to college or university. It isn't like that. It isn't sort of what I would describe as rote learning, where you are just like we're doing a little bit now. You're just watching a presentation and listening to me speak, and you'll probably take about 10% of this in, and then you'll forget most of it, because it's quite passive learning. The course isn't like that. It's designed to really encourage deeper learning, where you really retain the knowledge, and actually you also simulate that workplace and the kind of things you will see in the workplace, so that when you do go get the job, it's almost like you've already been doing it for 16 weeks, because you'll see very similar things. So we're simulating that workplace environment. We're trying to make it as hands-on and engaging as possible, and it's all about problem solving, really, and you're working in a team around that to ensure that you get the best possible start, really, when you go into a role. You're looking at about 400 hours of live instructor-led sessions. What that means, though, for a learner is they need to be there in the classroom. So one of the big requirements that we have on the course is you've got to be able to attend at least 90% of the course. Otherwise, you can't pass the course, because you can't just catch up and read some slides. You've got to be there with your team, doing the work in the sessions, with the tutors as well. There's around 200 hours of guided self-study around that as well, and that might be research and labs, and we do what's called pre-work as well before some of the sessions. But the whole course is mapped against CSEC and this NICE skills framework. It's accredited by the Chartered Institute of Information Security, CSEC, as well, which is a great stamp of approval for us, because they've looked and gone, yeah, this is a course that is valid and appropriate for industry as well. But you look at the approach, the learning approach, the learning methodology that we look at is team-based and problem-based learning. And basically, what that allows us to do is really enforce that deeper learning, where you're retaining the skills and the knowledge. So you're not just memorizing something and then sort of regurgitating it, you're actually understanding it. And it really develops key skills that businesses need. So the way that we do that is you will come onto the course as a trainee cybersecurity consultant in a fictional business. So we've got a fictional case study business that you will work in. You'll work in teams of about 4 to 6. And then throughout the course, you'll work on different problems that you will solve as a team, like you would do if you were working in a business. And some of those will vary across the different problems. So some of them will be theoretical and researching. Some of them you'll have to get a little bit more hands-on with the tech, so you can enhance those tech skills as well. But it is a real broad range. And I think, again, it's really important to say this is not a tech course. This is not a technical course where you will just be learning technology and doing tech throughout. You'll be looking at things like governance, risk and compliance. You'll be looking at things like audit. You'll be looking at business resilience. You will be looking at things like pen testing and working in a SOC and that kind of stuff as well. But it is that broad range of cybersecurity that you will be looking at. And so when we're looking at kind of getting those skills enhanced for you, you will always be understanding as well how they're applied and why you need those skills in the context of a business and cybersecurity. And it really, really helps to develop those crucial impact skills. You might have heard them called soft skills. We call them impact skills. And they're the ones that really employers are crying out for. And we work with over 150 employer partners now. And constantly that's what they're telling us. We can't teach these skills. We can't find people with that ability to communicate, to think critically, to problem solve, to work in teams. They're the ones that they're really crying out for. And they're the ones that you'll really naturally enhance as well throughout the course. And it prepares you for that workplace really, where you can go and you can add value immediately. And this triangle is really saying what I was just saying. If you're just listening and reading and maybe seeing a little bit of some slides, you're only ever really going to retain about 20% of that information. If you're in there in a team, you're doing this stuff hands-on, you're working in a team, you're discussing it, you're practicing doing stuff, but you're also teaching each other about what you're doing, and you're having discussions and you're doing that peer learning as well. That's when you really retain the most knowledge and start to really develop those skills. And that's why we use this approach, because it's really effective. In terms of kind of support as well, there's lots of support at CAPSLOCK. Now, that comes with a caveat as well, right? We're not just going to do it all for you. We can't do that. And you're not just given a free pass and you come on the course, and if you turn up for 16 weeks, you'll just pass, because again, we can't do that, nor would we, because we've got our credibility and reputation with our employee partners who hire our alumni. They need to know that anybody who comes through the CAPSLOCK course has put the work in, put the effort in, the determination, the dedication. They're at a certain level of skill before they leave the course. But we will support you. I always liken it to a gym membership. If you pay your gym membership every month, but you never bother turning up and going to the gym, or you turn up at the gym and you never go on any of the equipment or do anything, you just stand and watch the TV, you're not going to see any kind of benefit from that. And it's the same here. We can give you all the support. We've got everything in place to support you. All of the team will always go above and beyond to support people, but we can't do it for you. You need to have the right attitude, determination, passion, all of those things to be successful. And they are the biggest measure of success. Not whether you're really good at tech, but it is those things. That attitude is genuinely the biggest measure of success for us. But we do have a dedicated team. We have a dedicated careers curriculum that you will do alongside the cyber curriculum as well. You will get one-to-one sessions with careers advisors. They will help you with things like your CV, LinkedIn, networking, interviewing, how to negotiate as well, interview for salary. And we also have a dedicated professional coach, Christina, at the top there, who will help you things like confidence, imposter syndrome, making sure it's the right role for you. That loads of good stuff there as well. So we have that wraparound support in terms of learner outcomes. We also, in addition to the career support and the coaching that you can see there, we have mentoring. So you will have an industry and an alumni mentor. So somebody who's out there in industry, usually quite senior people as well. We have right up to CISOs and mentoring. But you'll also have an alumni mentor, who is somebody who's been there and done the CAPSLOCK program, who understands the difficulties, the challenges, what you might be going through, who can help with that. And you can have regular meetings with them as well throughout the course. And they have regular guest speakers coming in. So they might have somebody from some senior SOC analysts coming to speak to you about SOC or different things. And then we also have a wellbeing team that will help support you through the course and some of the more pastoral stuff as well. You have access to mental health first aiders. They are not trained counsellors, but they are mental health first aiders who can speak to you. A bit of an ear if you're struggling with anything, and can help guide you to where and push you to where might be helpful. And they are all fully trained as a mental health first aider. We have the professional coaching, as I said. We do academic reviews constantly, as well as attendance reviews and that industry mentoring as well. So there is lots of support throughout the program. Right. In terms of the class schedules, then, so if you're looking at full time, that will be 16 weeks. That is Monday to Friday, 9:30 till 2:30 every day. And if it's part time, it's 28 weeks, and that is Monday to Thursday, 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. We did used to do a part time with Saturdays, but it's quite difficult for people on the Saturday morning as well, especially if you've got families and other commitments. So we have changed that, so it's Monday to Thursday, 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. Both of these courses are a big commitment, and they are intense courses. I'm not going to stand here and pretend otherwise, or even apologize for it, because you are reskilling into a new career. It's going to be tough, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be intense, and it takes a lot of, as I've said before, passion, determination, dedication, patience at times as well. There'll be frustrations, there'll be challenges. So it is tough. And it's a big commitment to come into and to do one of these courses, but it does work. If you come in with the right attitude and all of those things that I've talked about, you'll have the support here. We work with lots of employer partners. There are roles constantly coming through. You can make it happen, but it is not easy to do that, and if anybody tells you any different, I think they're probably lying to you, quite frankly, because it is tough. Any career change is tough. Even just kind of coming and starting the course is tough. To make that commitment and make that leap is a really tough, brave thing to do anyway. So I'm not gonna pretend otherwise. I'm not a salesperson. You can probably tell that by I'm saying this. What I'm saying here, I'm not a salesperson. I try to be honest with everybody about what it entails and what it's about. And it's not for everybody, this type of learning either, and there are other ways you can do it as well. But for a lot of people, for hundreds and hundreds of people now, this works. But it is that, it does take that real commitment to do that. So we've got some upcoming course dates. We have a full-time start on the 23rd of September. I think is there about a week left on that? 5 days, 12th of August.
Yep, just a week. So if you are interested in that, I was going to say definitely get your application in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's looking like a busy cohort at the moment. So yeah, get that in. The next full-time then is the 4th of November. And we have a part-time starting on the 21st of October as well there. So upcoming course dates there. And then admissions process. Sophie, do you want to have a go this one, or am I throwing you under a bus here? You weren't expecting to
No,
do
that's
this.
fine. This is my try and make it my bread and butter. But yes, the admissions process, it's fairly straightforward. Once you've gone on our website, you've had a look at your kind of had a look at us first of all, made sure that we're kind of the right fit for you. You just fill out your application form. It's really, really simple, and that will send through your application to my team. We'll have a quick look just to make sure that we think everything looks okay as well. And we'll send you out then a link to our pre-course work. Pre-course work's really, I love pre-course work actually. I think it's a really good flavour of what the CAPSLOCK course is going to be like. It's not exactly the same, but it sort of helps you get into that mindset a little bit more about what the course might involve. We do ask that you have completed your coursework as a prerequisite of coming onto the course. And after you've done that, we will invite you to apply for your chosen tuition funding method. So we do have a number of different payment options available. They're all listed on our website. And if you do want to have a chat about that at any time with me or the admissions team, then you're more than welcome to. And then providing your funding application has been successful, you'll then be enrolled on the course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think again, it's probably really pertinent to add that you do not have a place on the course until you get that point where you are told, now you have the place. You will be enrolled on the course, because our courses are oversubscribed. So unfortunately we can't give everybody a place. What we can do though as well is, if they are oversubscribed, so if you apply for September, they're oversubscribed, you know, and we say, and you've done the stuff and it's a good application, you know, we will look where we can to move you to the next one, to give you that opportunity, to do that. And I just want to pick up on something Sophie said about, you know, when you're looking at that application and going on and looking at us and whether we're right, you know, do your research on this, you know, ask the questions, ask us the questions, ask other people the questions who've done caps lock, as well, and you know, and make sure that it is right for you, because it doesn't benefit any of us, you or us, you know, if you're coming on and it's just not the right thing for you. And if it's not as well, you know, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to tell you other options that might be more suitable if you don't think this is for you. Okay. Talking of pre-course then. So we have around 20 to 25 hours of self-guided study on there, and it is self-guided. You will be working in the team on the main course. This one is a very independent learning, looking at the stuff. It's a mixture of videos, text, and cyber labs. You've got a commitment-free access. You're not committing to anything by going in and doing the pre-course there, at all. But it does, you know, as Sophie said, it gives you a bit of a taste of cybersecurity, whether it's something you might like, whether it's for you, and it get me teeth in. It's been a long day. Demonstrates a determination to complete that as well, but it also, you know, lets us assess kind of that determination, that attitude, that engagement as well, for our applicants as well coming through. And then I guess paying for the course, so that's, you know, unfortunately it's not free. We can't give it free because we have to charge for it. But what we try and do is make sure there's plenty of options for people to be able to pay in a, you know, in a way that suits them. So we've got a few options here, and you can find out more on the website, but you can pay up front for the course as well, which is, you know, you just pay for that. I think is there a discount for paying up front still? Do we still do a discount, Sophie?
Yes, we have got a limited time deal on at the moment to reduce the fee for anyone paying up front by £500 at the moment.
Excellent. So you can pay that up front. You can get an interest-free payment plan with one of our finance partners called EdAid, and that basically spreads the cost of tuition over between 6 and 36 months. You can choose which one there. You would need a deposit. For any of these, you would need a deposit anyway, but you can put a deposit down and then pay that on a monthly basis, and that's totally interest-free. With EdAid, we have what we call a future earnings agreement with StepX. So basically that means that there would be a deposit on that actually, but then you would repay a percentage of your salary once you've graduated and you're earning over £25,000. This is, you know, this is a good option for some people as well, but I think probably just to bear in mind with that, and there is more details, as I say, there is interest applied to that. So you would be paying more than the course fee with that, whereas with EdAid, you're only paying the course fee. So, but there's pros and cons with all of these. And then we do work with another finance provider called Lendwise, and that's more of just a traditional loan, really. Where I think now we can go to any questions from anybody. I know that's a lot of